Okay, so practically to see the VLANs, implement and configure VLANs, and to implement all what we have talked about in the previous video. It was more than about 30 minutes long in the video, so all of this talk and concepts and discussing. Okay, so let's see what will really happen. Okay, we will go in the pack tracer to the switches section. This is the second group. Okay, at the bottom left, the first one is the routers, the second one it will be the switches. Okay, we will choose the first type of switches, which is 2960. Just hold and drag the first one. Okay, this is 2960, which has 24 port. This is called switch number 0. Once you hold your cursor on the switch, you will see some informations. Okay, I don't want to take this snap. Okay, so all these information, the first one are all the 24 interface, which are fast Ethernet starting from 01 up to 024 0/24. After that you have 2 extra gigabit Ethernet ports and the VLAN one. Leave the VLAN one for now. The downlink, we will talk about the down, administrative down, and the uplink. There are 3 status for the links. I'm sorry. The third column will be VLAN. We have just talked about the default VLAN. All interfaces by default are assigned to VLAN number 1 in order to communicate, so you can see all the interfaces in this switch are assigned to VLAN number 1. IP addresses, there are no IP addresses. This is a switch. Okay, the interfaces has no IP addresses. Finally, MAC addresses. Each port has a MAC address in the switch. Okay, so these are brief and informative information. Just by holding your cursor on the switch to know about them. We will need more than a single switch. Okay, we will use another switch. We will click and hold, drag the switch, release it. We have drawn the other switch, hold the cursor. Again, you will see different MAC addresses, the same interfaces, fast Ethernet and gigabit interfaces, Ethernet interfaces or ports. All of them are down because they are not used yet. They are empty. That's why they are called down. All of them are assigned to VLAN number 1. We will implement the example that we have talked about of having 2 branches. Each branch has 2 departments, so some of them will be access, other will be trunk. And after that, to check our work, how do VLANs really do? How do they operate? What are their really benefit? This will become seen by making whatever computers in VLAN number 10 will become unable to contact computers on VLAN number 20. Okay, so even using the same subnet, even when using IP addresses from the same subnet, this is the concept of VLANs, to virtually create broadcast domains. So we will go to the first line of the devices. The second group is called end devices. This is a PC. This is the first one. Okay, it's called PC. Drag, click and hold, then drag computer number 1, then computer number 2. Okay, maybe we'll make them 3 computers. Should be enough. 2 computers, one for VLAN number 10, the other for VLAN number 20 in branch number 1. In branch number 2, VLAN PC for VLAN number 10 and the PC for VLAN number 20. Okay, so I can move them by click and hold. This PC should be here in this place. This switch, I will make it in this way. Okay, after that I have my other switch, which is connected in this way. PC number 3, PC number 2. Okay, in this order. Now of course we will need links. We'll go to the connections, the first one, which is the automatically choose connection type. Okay, we will use it in all of our labs. First click on the computer without click hold, just drag the cursor to the switch, another click, this will automatically be connected. Again, connect computer number 2 to the switch. You will notice that it is now became up just because a device has connected switch. This is the default switch behavior. All of the ports of the switch by default are up as an electricity, as an power status. They are up, okay? But as a link, when it's not connected, it will be considered as down. Once I did connect a real link, a real Ethernet cable to my switch, as you can see, it became up. Some negotiation would happen. After that, the amber color, I'm sorry, will be turned to green. You have seen this, okay? Then I will connect this simultaneously. I believe this will be port number 3, okay, to this port. To make it number 3, I will use it later. Let me do this move first. Okay, I will connect these two ports to fast Ethernet number 1, fast Ethernet number 2. Now again I will connect these two switches so it will become fast Ethernet number 3 to fast Ethernet number 3. Now I have my first switch. The first 3 ports are up and running. My other switch, the first 3 ports up and running. What we will do now is to assign all these 4 IP computers with an IP address of the network, the private network of course, which is 192.168.1.0, and this will be /24. It's not by enter, it's by going back. Okay, so this is the network that I will use. Okay, for here, for I'm sorry, this text, for this computer we will use 192.168.1.1. okay, for the other one we will use here, sorry, stick dot 2. okay, for the third one it was automatically before, we will use dot 3, and for the fourth one we will use dot 4. okay, so these are the IP addresses that we will use to the network. What I mean by dot 1, this is how we will face it in the exam. okay, you will see that 192.168.1.0, you know 0 is the network ID, so you cannot assign this to any device. okay, so 192.168.1.what.1 for this computer, or dot 2 for this, dot 3 for this third one, and dot 4 for the final computer. okay, so let's move this a bit. Fast Ethernet 0 and 1, fast Ethernet 0 and 1 and 2. These are fast Ethernet 0, 3. We don't need IP addresses here. These are switches. So we will start by computer number 1. One click, desktop, command prompt, I'm sorry, IP configuration. We will give the IP config of 192.168.1.1. hit the tab button on the keyboard. Automatically it's a class C, so it will be /24. computer number 2, desktop, IP config. We will need 192.168.1.2. hit the tab key. That should be enough. Exit with no saving, no need for to save, this is automatic in the pack tracer. okay, 192.168.1.3 from the same network. Finally, the IP config 192.168.1.4. hit the tab command and leave it. okay, with no config at all inside the switches. This computer, any one of these 4 end devices or computers should be able to ping. Should know what ping is by now. Should able to ping and reach any other computer they desire in the network. So maybe randomly we will choose computer number 2 to check. Let me drag this to here. Go to the command prompt and we will ping whatever device we want, maybe 192.168.1.1, the first one. I am receiving 4 replies with 0 packet loss. okay, let me take this in here from PC number 1. in the keyboard, hit the up arrow button. This will paste the last command you have typed. okay, take the last one and maybe I will ping PC number 3, hit enter. okay, there are replies, 4 replies from PC number 3. hit the up arrow command, the up arrow button, I'm sorry, the keyboard button, okay, and dot 4. Every time it comes with 4 replies. I wish this time to receive only 2 replies, so I will hit enter. After the second reply, I will press Ctrl and C in the keyboard. This will eliminate the process of pinging and give me only the result of 2 packets sent. Both of them are received, 0 packet loss. So this is clearly just establishing a network that 4 computers can communicate to each other. Now please separate this computer and this computer together, each one of them in VLAN number 10, this computer and the other one in VLAN number 20. I don't want these two computers to talk to each other, but they are connected to the same switch. Can this be done? And I don't want these two computers to connect to each other, but they are in the same switch. Can this also be done? But I want these two only to communicate together without seeing these two at the bottom, and these two to only communicate with each other without being able to see this one. So no more configuration on the computers. This is done on the computers. Now we will start our work on switch number 1 and switch number 2. Okay, I don't like the 0, so I will rename this as switch number 1. Okay, just don't hate me. Number 2 and switch number 1 for the left side. Okay, this one will be here. I think we can take this. Okay, now this how it makes all the interface names are clear, should be by now. Okay, so switch number 1 click is enough. Go to the CLI. I will take this window to here, then should be expanded this much. Hope this is enough. Okay, this is switch number 1. These are enough to it. The CLI font is clear to you. Okay, in the real life, whatever switch or router you will be connected to, you will see the background in the black color and the font might be in the white or yellow color. In here it's in white and the font in black, or the typing. You can reverse it, you can change it in the config in the preferences. Okay, so right now I'm in the user mode, which does nothing, so I must hit enable. I will type en. After that I will hit the tab button on my keyboard. This will automatically complete the word for me. If this satisfies me, I will hit enter. Otherwise I will change the word and insert more keywords, more letters. Okay, so I will hit enter. Now I'm in the privilege level. In the privilege level, I can only show things. I can only verify and see things. I cannot modify anything. So in order to show something, maybe we will show, this is a show space. What do I want to show? If I'm confused and I need some options, then I will use the question mark. Shift in the keyboard and the question mark. It typed it this way, the question mark, automatically without an enter, without hitting enter. What you will see is this. Okay, shift and enter. Let me do this again. I will hit enter so many times just to clear the screen. Show space shift and question mark. Okay, these are all the options that I can type after the show command. Okay, I can do show access lists. We will talk about access list in chapter 5. Show ARP, we will talk about it in chapter 3. Show boot for the boot attributes. CDP is upcoming, is about 2 or 3 videos in the upcoming. Clock, we will talk about it in the NTP. Okay, crypto, DHCP, DTP, Ether channel, all of these are informations that I can show and see in my device, in my switch. Show interfaces. So let me check my interfaces. By the way, there is an option for more, so if I press space it will give me even more options. Okay, reaching up to the V letter. Okay, it's on the alphabetical. Okay, so until the V letter. Finally the VTP. The VTP unfortunately has been removed from the blueprints It had a big concept and lab configuration in the past CCNA. Okay, but no problem. So show, maybe I will use interfaces. I will type IANT, okay, and hit the tab button. Automatically it will do the interfaces, it will complete it. After that I will use the question mark again. Let me see what I can use. Show interfaces Ethernet, show interfaces fast Ethernet, show interfaces gigabit Ethernet, show interfaces port channel. We will take port channel by the end of this chapter, it's very important. Show interfaces switch port. There are a lot of things, okay, but once you see the CR option in the end, this means that by far you can now hit enter. Okay, there's nothing called show only and enter, so you don't see the CR option here. But show interfaces, this is show interfaces question mark, you can type any one of these or just hit enter. Okay, the return command, so I will hit enter. These are all the informations of my interfaces. Interface fast Ethernet 01 is up, it's up and working. Line protocol is up. Line protocols is very important. This is the switch and it's talking about fast Ethernet 01 and it says that it is up. So I can, okay, illustrate this by seeing the green LED. Line protocol is up. This means that the opposite side connected to fast Ethernet 01 is also up. Okay, which is this computer. Its fast Ethernet is also up. It's working. Okay, so not only me working and sending signals. Okay, the other end is also working. It's receiving my signals and it's replying me back. That is how I got the idea that the line protocol is also up. Okay, the address of this interface is this MAC address. Okay, the bandwidth is 100,000 kilobit, which is 1 megabit. Okay, these are other options to know about them. The full duplex we have talked about. Okay, for transmitting and receiving more information, yet there is a more. We can press more for fast Ethernet 02, the same information for fast Ethernet 03, and so on, whatever. Once you are bored with this, you don't want to keep pressing space just to know every single information detailed about the 24 interfaces. Hit anything but the space. Okay, maybe the S, that's it. Okay, it ended the process. I'm back now. Okay, so again I will hit the up arrow key. This is the last thing I typed. Question mark, show interfaces status. Okay, this is status, STA. Hit the tab command, status, question mark, no option but the CR, but the return command. Okay, so enter. This will show me all, let me just for a few moments do this move, all my interfaces, all their status, their assigned VLANs, their duplex speed and type. This is very informative and important command. Space, because it stops at 21. I have about 26 interface, so space, it will complete to the 24, 25, which is gigabit Ethernet 01 and 02. This is a very important command. Okay, so this is the first thing. Another command, show VLAN. Okay, question mark. I can either do show VLAN and enter, or show VLAN brief, show VLAN ID, show VLAN name. Okay, the most important command that you will use is show VLAN brief. Hit enter. Check this very important verification of very important results that have been shown. The VLANs, their names, each VLAN has a name. You will see this very important. The status, the ports assigned underneath the VLAN. So VLAN number 1, which is the default VLAN, has a name of default. Sounds obvious. It's active. It has all the 26 interface of my switch by default assigned underneath this VLAN. Okay, this is the default behavior of a switch. This is the first thing. The second thing is these two 4 reserved VLANs by default. These are reserved VLANs for the switch operations. You can't take them, you can't modify them, you can't change their name or their number, just leave them. Okay, so VLAN number 1 is the default VLAN. It has all of these interfaces, so I know in my switch there is no other VLAN but VLAN number 1 only. That's it. Okay, which is by default. VLAN number 1 cannot be deleted. The 4 reserved VLANs cannot be deleted, so clearly no modified or added VLAN is shown here because the switch is new. Let me start configuring. So configuring, configure terminal, T will be enough, and tab. Okay, hit enter. Now I'm in the config mode. What I will do is, since this is interface, I'm sorry, since this interface is going to this computer, it must be an access, and since this interface is going to this computer, it also must be an access port. So let me hide this just for one moment, and let me talk about our task. Our task is to make the two computers at the top to be at VLAN, capital letter, space number 10. Okay, and all the computers at the bottom should be at VLAN number 20. First task. Second task, VLAN number 10 must have a name of HR, and VLAN number 20 must have a name of, let's say, the sales department. Are they selling? They bring money? Okay, so this is my task. I must make this interface access because it's connected to a computer and assign it to VLAN number 10. This interface must be access also because it's connected to computer and it should be assigned to VLAN number 20. In this switch, I must make this interface as an access and assign it to VLAN number 10. This interface, I will make it an access also, assign it to VLAN number 20, and since VLAN number 10 and 20 must together across this interface to reach this switch, then this interface must become trunk. Also, this interface must be configured as trunk. Okay, so let's just go ahead and do it. We don't want to make this an entire hour of talking. Okay, so first interface fast Ethernet, FA should be enough. You can hit the tab or not, FA will be enough. 0/1 and hit enter, which is this interface. My command will be switch port, this port of the switch mode. What should I make it? It's either trunk or access. Let's take the question mark. Okay, trunk or access. The dynamic is out of your concerns. Okay, access or trunk. I will make it an access, of course. Okay, because it's going to an end device. Hit enter. This is the first command. Secondly, switch port access. Switch port access VLAN. Set VLAN when interface is in access mode. Must set VLAN. So VLAN question mark, a number starts from 1 to 4094. This depends on the version of your software. Might be to 4096. Okay, so VLAN number 10. This is 10 and enter. Access VLAN does not exist. Creating VLAN 10. So my mistake, I must first create VLAN 10, give it a name, after that assign interfaces under VLAN number 10. Okay, so because it's my mistake, I will go exit out of the interface, back to the config mode. I'm sorry, VLAN number 10, enter. I've created VLAN number 10. Okay, it's already created, but no problem, we can do it again. Give it a name, we will call it HR. Hit enter. That should be enough. Exit. Okay, now let's create VLAN number 20 before we go fall back in the same mistake. VLAN 20. Hit enter. Give it a name, which should be sales. Watch out for the capital and small letters. Hit enter and then please exit. Okay, to verify my work, okay, let me do exit again, hit enter. Now where am I? I'm in the privilege mode, show VLAN brief. Voila. Do they say it this way? VLAN number 1 is the default. VLAN number 10 has been added recently. It has the name of HR. It's active. It has one single interface underneath it, which is Fast Ethernet 01. VLAN number 20 has the name of sales, and it doesn't have any interface underneath it because we haven't configured any interface yet. So configure terminal interface Fast Ethernet 0/2 switch port mode. Please, it's an access switch port access to VLAN, please, number 20. That should be enough. Exit again. Please again hit the up arrow twice to check that VLAN 20 has a new port assigned underneath it, which is interface number Fast Ethernet 02. Now negotiation is happening, okay, behind the scenes until it become green again. One last thing only to do in this place, which is configuring Fast Ethernet 03 as a trunk so it can carry to us the two VLANs. So config T interface Fast Ethernet 0 slash I'm sorry 3 switch port mode. Then it's not an access, it should be a trunk. Enter. It did a big mess. Check this. These two will keep blinking for about maybe 15 up to 30 minutes, 30 seconds, I'm sorry, until it becomes green again. Okay, it's almost green. And after that, we will be able to complete our work. Okay, if I am bored, maybe I can hit the fast forward. First one is done. Fast forward again. Okay, so let's complete our config. Okay, now I have my interface as trunk. How can I verify it? I can either type exit 2 times to go back to the privilege level or hit enter. This will do a shortcut to me back to the privilege directly, no matter in whatever mode or sub mode I'm in. Now show interfaces trunk. Hit enter. This says that port 03 is on. It's trunk using encapsulation.1q. Trunking its native VLAN is 1. This is by default. This port is allowing all the VLANs. This is the first part of the 4000 VLANs from 1 to 1005. This depends on your version. Actually, it's crossing VLAN number 1, 10 and 20 only. Okay, spanning tree will be talked about in the upcoming lectures. Okay, so I have verified my interface as trunk. All what I have done right now, I will do it again in a fast method in the other switch. Okay, this should be clear to you if you want to follow it again. Okay, so let's do it this way. In here, that should be enough. Down. Is this clear to you? Okay, enable configuration terminal, configure terminal interface fast Ethernet 0/2 because it's the on the up. Okay, switch port mode access, switch port access to VLAN 10. Okay, it's creating, no problem. The same mistake, I have done it again. Okay, exit interface fast Ethernet 01 on the bottom, switch port mode access, switch port access VLAN 20. It's creating VLAN 20. Exit. Now for VLAN 10, give it a name of HR. Exit, or just type VLAN 20 is enough to jump from VLAN to another, and the name should be sales. 2 enters. Exit. I have created 2 VLANs. Okay, show VLAN brief, please. it says VLAN 10 named HR has this interface, VLAN 20 named sales has this interface. Finally, config T interface fast Ethernet 03 switch port mode trunk. Okay, it did nothing. Why? We'll talk about this later. Okay, now and show interfaces trunk fast Ethernet 03 is trunk and carrying all these three VLANs. My config is done. So 15 minutes ago all these computers were able to ping each other. Now we should have done something. Okay, I think we can do it, no problem. I think this is what should happen now. These two can communicate together, these two cannot. Let us verify it and end this lab. Okay, command prompt, this has the IP address of 1, it should ping the IP address of 3, so please ping 192.168.1.3. there is a ping, but it should never be able to ping .2 or .4. So .2, there is no reply, sir. I'm sorry. Request timed out because they are on another VLAN. You can no longer talk to them. Please solve timeout. They are on another VLAN. You can never talk to them again for these solutions. We can solve it, okay, later. And for .4 also there is no reply at all. Control C because we have delivered our task. Just let's check the people at the bottom. Okay, this one is .2 and it should be able to ping .4 only, not .1 and .3. So let's ping .4. Yes sir, there is a reply. Thank you very much. Can you ping .1? No, this is a request timeout. Yes, and you should not be able to ping .3 also because it's a request timeout. So we have talked about VLANs. We have made a lab of VLANs, created VLANs, give them a name, assign interfaces underneath a VLAN by using the access port only, and carrying or transporting more than a single VLAN throughout one interface using the trunk interface, separated two departments from each other, so they are already using the same subnet, so by default they should ping each other, but no, we have killed this matter. We have made the upper people unable to communicate with the down people. Okay, please review. You must implement this entirely. Never get bored or lazy about implementing or configuring. You must do everything by yourselves tens of times, not 1, 2, 5, more than 10 times, okay, until you become, I remember when I was studying with Jeremy Chara from CBT Nuggets, until you become a ninja, okay, because of repeating and configuring for every time. Okay, so please configure it, inform me for everything that might happen with you, every other scenario in your mind that you would like us to implement and troubleshoot or verify it. Okay, please inform me about it. This is the end of the sub-chapter of VLANs. After that we will jump to the new sub-chapter in the upcoming video. I'm sorry this has been more than 30 minutes for the two videos. Maybe a lot of you gets bored of it. Okay, but we will try to shorten this in the future. I hope this was informative for you, and I would like to thank you a lot for watching. Okay, thank you and goodbye.